Hello YouTube, welcome to whatever part of building the workbench. It'll have the number on it. We have been using, last project we used 1/16 inch E6013 rods. Okay, we switched to a 7014. Well, I really like this because the other ones just would burn up really fast. You couldn't make a bead. Now there is a gap down in here now, so I've had to do this twice. I've got down there and welded, and I came. Maybe it has to be 3 times, but this isn't going to be no super big welding project. But we'll put a piece of angle iron across there, so it'll be welded here. I'll take a couple pictures. It'll leave me tacked over here. I'll put a piece of metal to splice it because this thing is wobbly like this way. Then our legs will go against this piece because the legs will be wider this way, narrower out on the end. You'll see as it goes along, but we just wanted to show that. I'm just an amateur welder, but this looks like this is going to be a better rod on this. We're only doing it about 45 amps. Don't lie. Between 40 and 55 is going to be somewhere between 45 and 50 amps. So, kind of guessometer on the knob. We just kind of get used to where we like the knob at. We just glance up at the little welder there, but use my little inverter welder. It goes to 80 amps, which would melt a hole through here with these little rods. But get the idea. Back to work. I just thought I'd put this in here because we'll be seeing these welds as we go. We're not really picky how they look. It's just a workbench, but this is good practice. This is the time to practice your welding to get better at it on something that no one's really going to notice. Because when this thing's flipped up, people might notice welds in there, but it's just a workbench. That'll give me an excuse for your crappy welding. Well, just a workbench, but that's how you practice. Get one of these, think of a project. This is that real thin. This was a C-channel cut in half. See where the holes were? I cut this in half because I had no angle iron of this type of metal. I wasn't going to use heavy angle iron and mix 2 types of metal when this is all that same cheapy trailer stuff. So there'll be probably more pictures on this one than talking. So back to work. Okay, we put the square on there. This is the way the legs are going on here, with that channel part to the back there. You'll see it as we go along. That's the best weld I can do with that rod, which is way better than the other rod. This is the 7014, 1/16 inch diameter. No time to edit, spit it out. That's the best I can do. It's just a bench. But I said, I'm an amateur and I'm still practicing with this welder, but these are way better rods. You can take time to make a bead. The other ones, it's like you're running across there in a line. They burn up so fast. Same diameter rod, better stuff. I know there's difference in them where they say AC, DC capability. The other rods don't say that. This is an inverter welder. I went around and around trying to find out if it's a DC welder. People reverse the leads on it. They'll reverse the leads on that thing, and I'm not going to do it. They say if you reverse it DC, I'm not going to believe something I find on the internet. Easy slag removal, which is true. Fast weld. Deposition rate. Low splatter. Ideal for welding mild and low alloy steel auto body repairs. Now, the other rods did not say auto body repairs, so I'm thinking, well, this should be able to weld thinner stuff. But this is how this goes on. Here's my angle iron. If we can get around here and see it. These are pretty nasty because there's a hole everywhere I wanted to weld. Square drop and hit me in the head. So that didn't matter. This mattered, getting these welds out here. Getting this, because this is tacking the top. This is nothing for strength. It's just to tack the top to the bench. So we hurried up and got that just slapped in there. And on the back of this, see how that shape? We use this with the C-clamp. Just made it easier to put the C-clamp on it. Okay, back to work. We're going to weld on the inside. We're going to weld on the end. Do the best we can. We're going to have it measured. Wherever this leg is, the leg on the other end is going to be the same. All the legs be this same distance in here no matter what this looks like, the angle iron. So, back to work. Okay, this is the last weld of this leg. I'm getting better at this. Said it's hard to make the arcs. Grab a rod here. It's hard to make little arcs with little rods, and it's hard to make circles. You end up almost like you're going in a line and you're just wiggling the rod. But I'm learning. That I did a lot of stuff with this little welder yet, but now I'm on a different rod, which is better. It even looks better. It's even a shinier metal. Even the metal in the rod looks better quality. There's a hole there, a little crater, there's one there. Of course it's all glob, but it almost gets a little better pattern at the end. But like I said, it's just a bench. Don't be afraid to learn how to weld. Those little welders, they're not that spendy. Get one, study what you can find online or in a book, and just start welding. Do stuff like this where it doesn't matter what it looks like. Your friends may be amazed. Wow, he's professional. But I do criticize my work a lot because I want to get better at it. Stick welding is a lost art, and that's all I can afford. So, kind of glance across there. There's the legs. Next is these braces up here. We'll worry about the other ones that way because we have to square it that way. While these are still halfway squared and hasn't been banged around, we're going to put the braces in here. That way it's easier to do it that direction. So we want these in here while this is spaced. All these are squared. This is squared this way, and it's not squared that way. That's last. So while they're squared this way, get the end braces in them. Same if I was building this out of 2x4s, that's how I'd do it. I'd worry about this wobble. Here might be better. Worry about this later, squaring that up. Get what I mean? Because it can't move this way. It can't move left or right. It's welded down. Okay, back to work. Okay, these are the cross braces, just have them tacked. This is wider than down here. See that? That way this will be on the bottom. We can put 2x4s across here or plywood and use this for another shelf made out of wood. So that worked out good, this type of metal. And we was able to cut it and miss the holes. See out there where that hole is on the end and the two holes in the middle? We was able to cut it and miss the holes so there's no holes in there. Now we're going to tack this side and then we'll put our bead in here. We know this is straight. It doesn't have to be perfect. But we'll also snap a picture of this part. Well, there it is so far. These are so strong, they're C-channel plus an angles over. I'll have a close-up picture of it. So if I ever put 2x4s across this way and run a brace down the middle, there's no way it's going to bow these. Kind of works good with a stick here. Then we're going to have some angled braces, either down at the bottom, maybe up from the top, so it doesn't rack back and forth. Because it still racks back and forth. And even if it don't fall apart, you're just going to end up cracking welds and be flimsy. But there you go. I'll take a couple pictures of it. This is the end of this part. We're almost done.